So in today's lesson, there are some key points that will be covered. And, the best thing that I would like you to understand is that, nothing is perfect in this world, number one. And the most important part that comes into picture is we need to learn, from all our activities that we do. And since lots of people have not yet joined, I'm still waiting for them to come. And I would like you to please see if you could share it with your friends among social media, including Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, Twitter. It's always good to share, that's the idea. And in previous class, if you recall, we have learned about the ants network. We are trying to evolve, a community, and that community needs strong bonding. And in order to make that bonding more strong, it is always good, that we communicate with each other. We develop some relationship, warmth, friendship. It's not always that you need to be supervised. You need to have freedom to do your work. And that is what is the beauty of our internship program, because for last 5 years, we are working not in the office, but virtually. Many times we don't see each other, but the reality is we have been doing lots of great work together. So that's the beauty of our internship program. So my idea is, at times you will face problems because there are many new things coming in. You have certain preconceived notion that, social media is not for good work, it is wastage of time, etc. If that notion is there, I suggest you to put an end to that and start participating to make your best of time with us. You may later on withdraw from your social media activity. That's not a problem with us. But when we are here in the training program, and when we have decided that this is what is the modus operandi of our activities, is try to be part of it, right? The more participation you will do, the better it is for your health and our health too. Okay. So with this, today, I would like to invite our friend, first of all, who is there with us, and her name is Rushali. Could you like to introduce yourself, Rushali, please?
Good evening, everyone. I am Rushali, and I'm currently pursuing my undergraduation in French from Delhi University. And I'm also currently working with Modlingua as an intern.
Rushali, I will again suggest you to please make your voice more clear, because it was audible, but more clarity is needed. So could you like to repeat it again?
Good evening, everyone. I am Rushali. I am pursuing my undergraduation in French from Delhi University, and I'm also working with Modlingua as an intern.
That is great, Rushali. Thanks for your introduction. So now let's move on to our second participant, and her name is Prachi Kukreja. Prachi, could you like to explain yourself?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I am Prachi Kukreja, and I am currently pursuing my undergraduate in French from Delhi University second year. And currently, I am an intern at Modlingua.
Great. So we have your language is French?
Both of us are French, sir.
Okay. And from the same school?
Yes, sir.
So it is Delhi University Faculty of Arts?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's great. So we have today Delhi University representing us, from Faculty of Arts, from Francophone Center. Lots of good friends had been there of mine, and many interns have come from, the Faculty of Arts. So let's, I guess we have lots of people around, and friends have already joined on our YouTube channel also. I would like to say hello to everybody, and thanks for being with us. And I also like to thank every intern who has been putting efforts for promoting yourself and for promoting ourselves, and for promoting our channel as well. As explained you in the morning, the best thing is when you increase the subscriber base, that doesn't mean that it is the only parameter of judging your credibility and activities. But why we are insisting on is that because we want to understand whether you have been able to understand the concept called engagement or not. If you engage in social media and if you do not get return, in terms of certain action, then the fact is that your engagement, I believe, is misfired. So either subscriber or some comments or some friendship or some business or visit to some another link, you prompt people, these are all things that comes into picture time and again. So with this, let's now, I will like to, talk to you about, the concept we call Wolf Pack and leadership for, and how much relevance it has for translator. So let me give you a little brief of Wolf Pack. Earlier we have talked about ants and we tried to learn, the network which they have. They develop colonies and they plunder the world whenever they need it. They want to do so, being the smallest one. So what is the importance of wolf for our system, for our society, or we humans? Wolf are one of the most hardest workers in this world. They live in a very extreme, they can live, in fact, in a very extreme climate, such as minus 40 degrees. So can you imagine how much difficult it could be for an animal to survive in that minus 40 degree? They make lots of efforts to survive, number one. They move during that winter time, in minus 40 degree, in Arctic Circle and in variety of, those areas, including some part of Canada, which is very, very, extremely cold. And cold, when I say it reaches minus 40, I have lived in at least, that zone of minus 30 in Ottawa during winter time. So I can tell you with guarantee that when we are there, in that extreme climate, it's very tough to live. If you do not have, air conditioning, if you do not have that heating system, you will not survive, that extremity. So leaving apart that, humans, intervention there, but imagine animals, how they survive in that extreme condition. So they are the toughest one. They have to survive. They have to feed their people. They have to feed their children, feed their younger gen people, older ones, and they have certain system in place. And that system teaches us lots of things, including teamwork, leadership, communication, commitment, warmth, relationship building. All these are, characteristics that one can learn from wolves. So if we have already discussed, certain photographs about wolves, and we also have, shared about it today. So keeping all these factors into consideration, I would like to invite our friend, Rushali, to make her presentation. And I will again request her that, she takes care of her mic, because that is, is very important. Otherwise, the sound quality, will not be very good. Okay. So with this, my friend, let's welcome Rushali for today's presentation, and that is on wolf, leadership, and translators. I'm moving on to Rushali, please.
Thank you, sir. I hope I'm audible.
No, Rushali, it is not.
Am I audible now?
Yes, better.
So today I would like to talk to you all about two qualities that are leadership and teamwork. These two qualities I believe are very important for achieving success. And I would like to relate these two qualities to the pack of wolves, which Paul has just explained. Now, when I think of wolves, I find them to be really intelligent creatures. They are fast, they are smart, and when we look at wolves, we often see them moving in a pack. They are always ready to protect each other, they are always ready to help each other. Now, every group needs a leader, and similarly, there is an alpha in the pack of wolves. And I believe we have so much to learn from this alpha. Now, he is responsible for guiding all the wolves in his pack. He gives a chance to his team members to move forward and showcase their talent. So, with this, I would like to show you all an image of a pack of wolves. And I would like to ask my colleague Prachi, who is here with me, to share her interpretation of this image.
Okay, so hi Rushali. And sir, could you show the picture on the slide? Yes, thank you. My opinion on this picture is basically that this pack of wolf represents an entire community to me. The three wolves that are in front, according to me, are the oldest among the entire pack, and they have the most experience with them, and hence they are leading the entire pack behind them with their own pace. Uh, Yes. And secondly, we have five wolves behind the three main wolves. This pack, I believe, is basically the strongest and the most powerful pack among the entire pack of wolves here, followed by the remaining pack of wolves, which I believe are need more support and more helping hand and more protection. Hence, they are kept in between, followed by the five, again the five most powerful and the strongest packs. Now, in totality, there are 10 wolves which are the strongest and the most powerful, since they need to keep the entire group intact and in protection, and need to take everybody together. The last wolf that is left behind in the pack, I believe, is following everybody's lead, which is in front of them. He is a little behind, but with the trust that is being displayed by his fellow mates or the wolves, he is getting motivated and is following his teammates by the path that is being paved by them. So, Roshali, what is your interpretation to that?
Thank you, Prachi. I agree with your interpretation of this image, and I too have almost the same opinion. You are right in saying that the three wolves in the front are the most experienced, and the five wolves, the 10 wolves, five in front and five in the back, they are the strongest, they are the initiative takers, and they are guiding and motivating the rest of the pack. However, I have one difference of opinion. The last wolf which we see, I believe that he is the alpha of the group. Now, why I believe so is because of his very position. The alpha at the last is able to guide and look and keep an eye on all of his pack members. He is able to supervise them. And instead of walking in the front, he has given this chance to his pack members. Now, these are the true qualities of a leader. He gives a chance to his teammates, to his fellows, to showcase their skills. So, this is why I believe that the last word is the alpha.
Okay, so Rushali, I was just trying to understand. You are trying to say that these wolf are moving in a planned way, in the sense that they have developed a kind of a strategy, and in that strategy, the first three ones are the oldest one. But why they are in the front? Any idea, Prachi, you have, or Rusali, you have on this? Why they are moving in? Why the eldest one are in the front?
May I speak?
Yes, please, Prachi.
Thank you, sir. So I believe that the people who have much more experience should take the lead, since the other members of the pack do not are inexperienced and they do not have much of the opportunities offered to them. The older the person is, he has seen more of the true colors of life. Hence, he knows what will life throw towards him. So that is why I think the oldest members of the pack are taking the lead and guiding the younger or the other peoples of the other people of the pack.
Let me share this, photograph, again, so that it will become more clear, and I would request our, you know, viewers who are on the YouTube to please comment also in their chat box about this question. And the question is, why the eldest ones are in the front? As per interpretation from Rushali as well as for Prachi, and there are various interpretations that has come up, but this interpretation has some value, why these three are the ones who are the eldest one or oldest one, and they are in the front. There are some interpretation which Prachi has already given. Do you have any comments, my friends? Let me come back to our comment section on YouTube and understand. Uh, yes, Enmo is saying in the wolf pack, the alpha has the confidence to fend off the disruptive attack from the side, either alone or with quick help from the pack. That's good. But my question is, why the eldest one are there in the front? Pace to the entire pack. Okay, Akash is saying it is they give pace. Most of the organization work on these models of operandi, leader, protector, growing protector, Ekeoja. Raghuveer is saying the three wolves are future deciders and they know the goal. Anandita is saying, I agree with Prachi when she says that the eldest ones are the front, and according to me, the reason is so they can control the movement speed of the pack. Vijeta is saying not useful. Anidita, of course, because they are more experienced. Anil Chauhan is saying they are the oldest, so they might get left behind in the pack. They are the experienced one. Okay, so now we already have the feedback from people, and let me give you my also opinion to you. And my version is these three are the oldest one, the eldest one, and there are various reasons for this. Number one, suppose if they are put into middle, and the smart ones are after them, these five ones are the strongest one. When the strongest one they move, they will have their own pace. The speed of that whole group will be higher than what the whole group is talking, moving. They are moving in a slow motion because the eldest one should not be left behind. If you put them back, they will become more vulnerable to attacks and and they will be wiped out. So those who are moving slow, those who are weaker, they have been put in the front for two reasons. One, they have experience. Number two, they cannot move fast. Number three, if at all there is any attack, from an outside world, the eldest one will be vulnerable and they will be attacked and killed because they have lived their life. They have right to move out of the system. This is another interpretation. There is another interpretation which says they are the experienced one. They indicate, through their noise, and they understand how to cover the risk because they have already lived that, risky zone of life, and they know how to cover the risk for others. So they as elder person, are protected, just like humans. Our elder parents, the grandparents especially, are always put in front, in all occasions. Why? because it is a matter of respect, and they have the experience, you know. You recall, I will tell you, I would talk about another story, you know, maybe later on, about how important the elder persons are in the family, you know, in human beings. Similarly, elder people are very, very important for wolf also, and that's why they should not be left behind. Number one, their experience matters. Number two, and they are given respect, honor. They are the protectors, you know. In a way, they have already been living that you know, that life of giving protection to their family. That is the reason why they are in the front. Okay, so then what is happening? There is one at the last. What is the importance of that person? Who wants to say, Prachi or Rushali? Who?
Sir, I think I've spoken already, so I'll give Rushali a chance.
Okay, Rushali, please come out.
I'm very sorry, sir. Can you please repeat your question? There was a network problem.
Your voice is still not clear. Rushali, that's very important, because others will not be able to listen to you, you know.
Sir, can you please repeat your question for once? There was a network
Yes.
problem.
Tell me why the last one, you know, is alone, number one, and it is maintaining distance. Let me show you that picture, you know, again. That will give you, that will make you understand what I'm trying to ask, you know, because we need to understand this, very important. Can you see this one, the last one, the blue part, you know, this arrow mark? There is a big distance between this group and the last one. The last five, and then after single one. What is it doing? You know? What is the importance?
Okay. So, as I said, I believe he is the alpha or the leader of the group, and hence he is watching all the team members from a distance. He is able to keep an eye on the staff members, and he is giving them a chance to showcase their talents. So that is what I believe a true leader is, giving a chance to.
Your voice is not still clear, Rushali. Let it pass to Prachi. Prachi, can you throw some light on this?
Yes, so I have two interpretations on this. First, as I talked before, that this wolf is following everybody's lead, whoever is in front of him, front of it, sorry. And he's trusting his fellow mates, and he's getting motivated and following the path. The second is that he is the alpha wolf, which means that he is also as important as the ones who are leading the path, that is the oldest members of the pack. Because because the leader has to keep an eye on everybody, that everybody is safe, everybody is following the path, nobody is lost in between, and it is important to protect the pack as a whole, because wolves together act as a team and they do not act as individuals. So the alpha, if the alpha is placed in front, it would not be able to protect those people, those wolves who are placed at the last. So, in order to keep an eye on all the wolves and make sure that everybody is safe and everybody is following the path correctly, the alpha wolf is placed in behind.
Okay, so fundamentals are, you are saying that the last one is alpha wolf. So what is alpha wolf? Alpha wolf is someone who is a very strong person in the family. There is alpha male as well as alpha female, you know, just like humans. Let me tell you about this. You know, the way we have in our family, mom and dad. Similarly, in wolf family also, they have mom and dad, you know, and they are the ones who are the boss of the system, you know, and supported by brothers, sisters, family members, children, you know. So one group of elder and experienced person are in the front, and the guardian one, the alpha one, is at the back. and maintaining distance. Why maintaining distance? Because it is a strategy of protection for the whole group. And the front is looking from the front side, and this person is behind and is looking from in all directions, left, right, front, back. And as this fellow is strong enough, it can sustain certain danger all alone for certain period of time and still save the whole group, especially the children and elder ones. The strongest one will come forward, just like, football match, and protect that person even if he is caught in a danger zone. So that way, the strategy is to move in a group as a team and keep moving forward, right? So, before I ask you to go ahead for the other part of what we are saying, so is there any lesson that has for us from this story? Any, could you like to say something on that? Prachi, you want to say something? Because Rushali's voice is not making clear and it will disturb the audience. So are you in a position to explain it?
Yes, sir. The strategy that the wolf pack represents here is directly related to the strategy that a person should follow in a community. It is important to take everybody together as a team, and I think it is essential that we are not only initiating or practicing to achieve success for our own self purposes, but we're also taking those inexperienced and people who need support so that the team as one can achieve higher amount of success.
So you are saying these points which were there in our PowerPoint presentation: supervise and guide, anticipate attacks, give opportunity to his pack,
Yes,
and
sir.
motivates the pack, right? So, right, I understand now. Before I talk about, its relevance for translators, I wanted to say something more on this, if you allow me to talk about it.
Sure, sir.
And let me brief you a little bit about this picture, that we have just seen. There is a big importance of this picture. I am talking about this picture in question. This one. This particular picture has a big relevance. Although the person who took this picture has not interpreted, the story that we have just discussed. Alpha, 3 in the front, then 5, and then 5, and then family, and then the stronger one, and then back ones, and then teamwork. This has been interpreted by a variety of strategists, right? And lots of people have made it, popular, this story. But there are a variety of, story behind this. And the most, but the original story, revolving this alpha wolf pack is that this particular, photograph was taken by Chadden Hunter. He's a photographer, well-known photographer, And first time this particular photograph was featured in BBC documentary in 2011. And the name of that documentary is Frozen Planet. Okay. And in description, it was explained that it is alpha female lead the pack and that rest of the wolves followed in a track is order to save the energy. The front one was the female, alpha female, and rest, are moving in a track to save the energy. So now let me brief you how they are saving the energy. Just imagine this particular photograph that I'm just talking to you, which I have just shown you, is the photograph that was taken in Arctic Circle in northern Canada. I repeat, this was taken in Arctic Circle in northern Canada in midwinter. And there is a park called Wood Buffalo National Park. And in winter, the temperature of that zone is minus 40 degrees centigrade. Okay. So can you imagine how these people, these wolf animals, could be surviving in that particular environment when there is a minus 40 degrees centigrade? When you move on snow, you know, it is very difficult to move on snow, because the moment you put your, feet, you get inside, and then you move up and then move up. So suppose you wanted to move for 2 kilometers in ice, perhaps it will take you at least 30 minutes to 1 hour, maybe more than that, depending upon the density of ice you are moving in. So what happens if a person, the front part, the strongest one, is moving in the ice, they create a path. So the rest follows. So what happens? Your energy is saved. So you are creating a kind of path for others, and slowly and slowly the more stronger ones, and then slowly they create a kind of path, and then life becomes easy for others, right? So this is another interpretation by the original photographer who took this photograph and presented it in BBC documentary. And now there is another, interpretation of this from the same person. There are 25 people, and in that particular region, these, wolves, they hunt for food during that winter time. And the ones whom they hunt bison. Bison are animals, they are, and they also survive in winter, and they are much stronger and 10 times bigger than, wolves. So in order to hunt and get food, wolves must move in a team, and they are one of the strongest, fierce, I will say, team in Arctic Circle, these wolf packs, in that particular, I will say, national park, Wood Buffalo National Park, where minus 40 degree centigrade is there. So they are also considered, they have grown to be the largest, most powerful wolf on the earth. Can you imagine? So what happens? In order to become powerful, in order to become, strong, in order to become more protected, we need to work in a team. So that is what, is the story behind this photograph. Do you have any other points to share, Prachi and Rushali? If you do not have anything to share, then I will be in a position, I will talk to people on some other similar matter. There is some lesson behind, this whole story. What we learn, for translators. You wanted to say something?
Yes, sir. The same slide that we had prepared for connecting it with the translators community.
Right. So let's move on to how this wolf story is important for us, for the translators community. So Prachi, up to you now, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So since we know how indispensable it is to work as a team in order to reach success, the heights of success, and to make sure that the entire team moves forward as one, so it is important to know that how we link this wolf pack strategy with the translation community in the world. So since our community is struggling a little to earn the central recognition, although translation and interpretation have grown much today in today's time, but still there is some amount of recognition that is still left. So if we, for example, Modlingua, work as a team with the help of our founder, Mr. Ravi Kumar sir, and the mentors and the interns together, it will not only help us reaching the heights of success, but it will also increase our recognition in the world today. Also, if I relate us with the wolf pack members, sir is the alpha, Mr. Ravi sir is the alpha of our group, and also the eldest pack which leads everybody by the path paved in front of them. The mentors that are being provided by Modlingua are our strongest pillars and the strongest wolf packs in the entire group. And we, the new interns or the previous interns, are the ones who need a helping hand to know how translation works in the practical world and in the corporate world in order to grow. And this is how we can collectively work together as a team in order to reach success and heights of success. Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you. I understand, Prachi, that that it has a good relevance for translators. Rushali, you have anything to say on this?
I would like to add something. Just like you said that this happens right in extreme climate. Usually we had a talk earlier in which we mentioned that translators will have to sometimes face extreme conditions like working for continuous hours, and we are not given the proper resources to work on the translation. So from this is something we can learn to survive in extreme conditions.
Okay. Let's understand. Let me, kind of let me explain you what Rushali was trying to explain, because her voice has got disconnected. Perhaps there is some connectivity issue, but no problem. She was trying to tell you was that already lots of efforts are being made. Prachi has explained that translators and language professionals are now slowly fully aware of their self, and they've started working together. Teamwork is there already, synergy is there, Modlingua and alike, other points are there to help newbies, empower them with knowledge, etc. Similarly, Rushali is saying that we need to have a good synergy, to 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 work as a team and learn, grow as a community. And this is what the lesson comes from our wolf pack. So these are the takes from our interns Prachi as well as Rushali, right? But before I close, I would like to read some comments and then give you my conclusion of this wolf pack. There are 5 points that we learned from these wolves, and I will cover these 5 points in next few minutes. But before that, I would like to take up certain comments that has come from our listeners, and which I would like to read. And more, in the wolf pack, the alpha has the confidence to fend off a disruptive attack. Good. Akash has said 3 are old. This Raghuvira had talked about. Anandita said, I agree with Prachi when she says, okay, I have read this. Shruti says, I too agree with Prachi. Okay. Three wolves have the dominance in the community. Okay. Emma is saying, I think the older ones are in the middle. These are just like CEOs. They are more experienced. Okay. Urja says, as 3 oldest wolves are experienced, they have the ability to think tactfully. Okay. Tactics is there. Right. So Manas is saying the eldest one in front because they are experienced, controlling power, experienced wolf leading. They are the ones which set the pace. Okay. The eldest one are in the front. Okay. Ashika is saying they are the superior and know the risk of the company. Shruti saying with experience and dominance, they create an aura which attracts the wolves to follow the leader. Right? Aura, I understand. Isita is saying they are the experience, they can lead better, just like how and under someone experienced, they could lead us. Experienced ones, the last one is the actual leader, defender, supporter. Emma is saying, okay. Ashish is saying they'll be behind are less experienced but possessing moderate to high level of efficiency. This is very diplomatic answer, Ashish. I believe he is the alpha. He controls. Okay. I agree with Akash. The last wolf will cover attacking. Okay. In my opinion, the last one is okay. Now I'm talking about my friends. Richard is saying, in my opinion, the wolf alone, which is behind, is one, the experienced one. He says there he stays there to make sure that all eldest are still following none. None is the lost and provide guidance. Right? Okay, I understand. So now my question to everybody is, what is the take from these wolves? The wolf pack, the alpha, the front runners, the front people, the middle one, the back one. What is the take? What do we learn, as from these people, and how much importance they have for ourselves, our community, our leadership, our learning? So, can you share your comments, my friend? I would like to understand this from you before I share my findings, because your opinion matters. I'm just waiting for your comments. Are you there? I guess there are some who are interested in answering my question. And since there is a delay, between Zoom and this, I believe we are not sort of time. People will respond immediately. Okay, now it seems there are some responses coming in. Alpha, Ganja, nicely explain importance of teamwork. Okay, conclusion. If you want to go fast, walk alone. Okay, right. Anandita is saying we have one wolf in the end alone because, okay. Akash is saying well explained, Prachi. Okay. Darshana is saying, and conclusion, if you want to go fast, walk alone. If you want to go far, walk together. Okay. The leader is behind to also protect the pack. Okay. Importance of teamwork, Emma. Abu is saying, which one is more experienced, the front or the alpha? You have to tell, my friend. I am asking you. Anandita is saying the best lesson for the pack wolves teaches us is a strategic leadership and teamwork. Okay, trust and team building are the most important inferences. Okay. Thank you, Prachi and Rushali. Okay, Akash, Akansha. It tells us that each member of the community is equally important, irrespective of their role. Okay. Garvita is saying, short, we should ensure that we work and grow together and ensure no one lags behind in the process of achieving our common goals. So these are, certain conclusion inferences from you. It is about management and leadership to handle the community. Okay, Abu is saying this. Any other comments, my friend, before I give you my conclusion? Somebody is saying unity is the strength, or the birds of feather flock together, just like our community of language enthusiasts should move forward together and rise together. We should uplift each other. If we are experienced in this field, we must support the newcomers. Right, Emma? That's why you are mentored in our system. Any other comments, my friend? Okay. So now there is little comment coming in. Create the path for others. What I am trying to say, Manas is saying, always goes potentially to hard work and teamwork as well. Richard is saying the importance, the takeaway of this is that the team is great. In order to be effective, there are a need of strategy to be followed, the less experienced trust and team from others who know, right? So, Shruti is saying leadership, teamwork, and sharing information with the community makes an organization strong and thriving. We should learn from the behavior of the wolf pack and apply in our practical world. Okay, right. So now let me give you my take, on wolf pack. From my side, my friend, there are 5 points that comes into picture. The first one is better to work together than apart. I mean, you are working all alone as a linguist or a translator. If your work conditions does not allow you to do so, it's okay. But if you can work in a team, start with one additional member of team, so 2 persons, and then 3, 4, 5. Even if you are able to create a team of 5 people, my friends, you will find a big difference. You will yourself become domain specialist. Your friends will become domain specialists. They will share your workload. They will come to you in need. And your personal life, family life, and professional life, all will be having a good time, and you will have a good quality of life. So this is how the teamwork comes into picture. That's the first lesson. The second lesson, communication is key. So when you are trying to build a team or work in a team, you must communicate. If you had seen those 25 wolves moving in a row, do you feel they are not communicating with each other? They communicate. Every animal has certain way of communicating. They make noise, wolf noise, and through that noise they guide their friends. They alarm people. They give advanced warning about the danger. They also communicate about the prey available in front of them. So their noise, the way they create noise, they communicate, it makes a big impact in their team building activity. Lesson number 3, when you are working together and evolve a system, respect that system. Here in the system, we have family relations, mom, dad, grandparents, brothers, sisters, and children. Same way we humans, we are working in a system of family, and we respect our mom, we respect our dad. They take decisions. We take guidance from grandparents. We take guidance from our brothers, sisters, and children, follow that, and they develop a kind of family culture and ethos in every family. If there is a productive, ethos in the family is happy, there is always a growth. You will find lots of good people coming out of the same family. But if ethos and system is not working there, you will find dejected people, rejected child, emotionally deprived persons, husband, wife fighting, children fighting, no production. Only they create nuisance for themselves and also for the society. So avoid, that thing, my friend. So if we develop a system, let's respect that. So that was the point number 3, lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, when there is a leadership, wolf leadership I'm talking about, you have agreed to define a person that he is a leader. You must follow that leader. You must believe that leader. And if you don't believe that leader, you start questioning that leader. That means you have started questioning yourself. Either you replace that leader by creating a big rift, that happens, there is a power struggle there also among wolves. But when there is a power struggle, that the struggle has to have the 2 equals, fighting. You can't be, beggar and then fighting for arms, If you fight for authority, you have to be showing authority, proving yourself, doing well. Then only you can replace someone. Simply making noise doesn't make a big impact, my friend. It's better to keep quiet and keep yourself moving and making yourself as strong and strong. If you are not strong enough, there is no need of wasting energy. Save your energy for better fight. When you fight well. Okay? So that was the lesson for lesson number 4. Now what we have, when we work together, when we stay together, they are 2 parts, of the same coin. In the sense, when you are working in a team, you stay together. But when you stay together, you develop a team. And you will come to know, if you go through, variety of, I will say, system all across the world, including corporate worlds, or even politics. People who have worked in a team, either in politics or in corporate world. They are the ones who have grown. Take example of Ambani brothers in India. Take example of Tata and Sons. Taking example of Airtel, Mittal brothers. Take example of Lakshmi Mittal, the baron, steel baron we are talking about. Anyone I'm telling you, my friend, they have a close network of either family members or close network of friends or employees. Example, Infosys, 7-member team under Narayan Murthy. Can you imagine that one of the biggest TCS, Infosys has once upon a time was one of the biggest, giant in India in information technology, the first mover. Similarly, TCS, when it started growing, it started with a small team, and that team has expanded. But that core team which started, it is still there in TCS. Now TCS has rolled over their branches. They have made India proud, at every country, right? So if you are talking about team building, if you're talking about relationship building, first, if you don't have any problems, if you still have mental blockage, if your mind is blocked, then there is no solution. You know that, before I conclude, I would like to bring back, one additional story here about the blockage in the mind. Everything is mind, Imagine when there is a small elephant, that elephant, is put behind, they put, kind of a small rope, tie in a knot, in their one leg. And that rope is very weak, right? And that small elephant, the child elephant grows and becomes big elephant. And still the same rope is tied in their leg to keep him under control, right? So that elephant has in its mind created a blockage that there is a rope, which is stopping him to plunder and roam around and wander around. And it remains within a house, a limited section, which has been defined in his childhood to that elephant, right? But the power of that elephant is known by, the persons around. It can give one small strike and that rope will be broken. But that elephant never does that. And it remains in chain, throughout their life. So my friend, I am talking about that rope, which is there in our mind. Break that rope. You are grown up now. Allow your mind to have freedom. Move ahead. Learn new things. Experiment new things. Make team. Be strong mentally. Move forward. And that is how, you as a team, I believe, could do well in life, my friends. So with this, I would like to thank you all for being with me, as well as with our presenter, Rushali, as well as Prachi. I feel sorry that there was some technical glitch in the mic, but hopefully for future, we will take this also into consideration. It was not done deliberately. It was just a kind of, I will say, some technical glitch which has happened. Do you have anything to say, my friend? Any comments? I would like to welcome you all with your comments and thought processes if you have. If you want to say something, please do share your comments in chat box. I would like to reply, read them. And before I close, I will give you some 3-4 minutes, and then we'll say goodbye. So my friend, let's see what we have in chat box. I will start with Mac. Trust and team building. Good. Aninda has already, Anindita, it tells that each member of the community is equally important. Garvita, in short, we should ensure that we work and grow together. Good. So Abu is saying it is all about management. Unity is the strength. Emma, if we are experienced, right? Richard is saying, Shruti, we have done it. Akansha Jaswal highlights the significance of teamwork. Thank you, sir. João, thank you, Prachi, Rushali, Mr. Ravi. It was a good event. Emma, it is always a good and pleasure to hear you, sir. Thank you so much for this enriching lesson. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Informative. Thank you much, Prachi, Urja. Thank you, sir. And thank a lot, Prachi and Rusali. My friends, I must give you a special thanks. And if you still have any comments to share, do share in the chat box. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. Number one, when share, use always the comments. Number two, and once the video gets over, always give feedback in the comment section. It keeps us happy, makes us, understand more about you. We feel happy that, you learn. And if at all, if I am able to reach out to people, our team was able to reach out and to clearly and make our message clear. I would like to thanks for you all for being with our team today. I hope we will have more opportunity to come out again with some more interesting terms and conditions. I must thank you today also and inform you that we have lined up some well-known linguists and professors from abroad, from Yale University, from Harvard, from Stanford, from Massachusetts, and whatnot. So I am sure you will have good opportunity to learn more, and hope to see you again, my friend. And thanks for being with me. Don't forget to share. And I would like again Prachi to thanks. And I would also again thank our friend Rushali, who has been very helpful in making this presentation for today. If you want to say anything, Prachi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, Prachi.
Yes, sir. Thank you for providing us with such an opportunity. And it all depends upon teamwork and the leadership skills that one possess to reach heights of success. And if we together work as a team, the success will itself take care of itself. So
Right,
thank
that's
you.
great. Thanks, Prachi.
Thank you, sir.
Rushali, anything you want to say to your friends?
Yes, sir, I would just like to thank you for this opportunity and apologize to everyone for this technical glitch. Thank you.
No problem, Rusali. We were able to manage somehow. The idea was, message was clear. Let's take care from future. Okay. So with this, my friend, thanks for being with us today. Hope to see you again, and we will try to make this feature regular, even after internship gets over, so that we remain in touch and we learn from each other. Thanks again, and bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.